Hey everyone, this is Chris, and you're listening to One Cross Radio. And today we are joined finally again by none other than Stereo Mike himself. Mike, how you doing today?
I'm good, Chris. It's good to be back in the studio, or wherever we are.
Well, you're at your place. I'm at mine. Listener, if you're noticing something off with the audio, it's because we're recording over Skype. Just because.
Technical reasons.
Well, technically, I was going to say, because Canada's a joke.
But Bafa.
No. It's, I'm not going down that rabbit hole. No, it's just because we couldn't get together naturally. Now we just couldn't arrange it. And then there are technical difficulties as well, so Skype just makes it easier. The joke was more so just in reference to all the bonkers things happening that are too exhausting to get into.
And this is a different show.
Yes, this is not that show.
This isn't Bro Jogan.
Bro Jogan? Wait, is that a thing?
Probably.
I feel like you're on fire right now, sir. Cretaceous commandos and Bro Jogan.
There's no context for the listener on that one. On the
no,
commando. But they'll learn.
Yeah, well, and also it's just awesome enough that you don't need any context. You're Cretaceous commandos. You get instantly interested.
What's this about Cretaceous commandos?
Tell me more. Yes. It's almost like Exploding Baby, and your interest just goes.
Oh, really?
Wait.
Tell me more.
Go on. Oh boy. All right, so listener, as you can tell, it's always fun for me to have Mike back. Mike and I have been friends for ages. You're a frequent guest of the podcast, and I'm thrilled to have you back. And I'm thrilled to be talking about today's topic, because last week, or by the time this drops, 2 weeks ago, we finally got a trailer for Jurassic World Dominion. And Mike, you and I have even though we bonded over Star Wars when we were kids, we've had like a lifelong mutual love of Jurassic Park for the most part, except maybe a couple of the movies.
Alan. Yeah.
Alan. Or, a gun that shoots a dinosaur. Anyways.
The gun that directs the dinosaur where to eat.
It basically shoots the dinosaur.
Yeah. It shoots dino bullets in a way.
Like, mechanically, maybe not, but essentially.
Yeah.
No, and we've both been huge fans, and I remember messaging you right away, and you're like, I'm going to give my play-by-play in the group chat. And I was like, I actually can't wait. And as I was reading your comments, I was like, I get it, because I was feeling them.
And nobody else cared. That hurts just a little bit.
I know.
If I still had feelings, I would be hurt.
Well, it's interesting. Just I don't know what's with the Jurassic fandom, because it's there and they're passionate, but I don't know if they're not as aggressive as the Star Wars fandom or the DC fandom or Star Trek, or they're one of the more chill fandoms. But then also, we've been hurt deeply twice now.
Yeah, really, really deeply by the last one.
Yeah.
Our intelligence was insulted by the last one.
Yeah. Which, when I was watching the new trailer for Dominion, it took me about a minute and a half to realize, oh, that's the clone girl.
Oh, yes.
Who's the young girl with Pratt and Dallas Howard?
That's the girl with blood on her hands. She's probably killed scores of people indirectly. Hammond's fine bringing back extinct species, but not okay with human cloning because reasons and ethics and what? Yeah. And I'm a clone too. These clones should be free. It doesn't matter if they kill someone or someone's or cause an ecological disaster or
everything bad. I want them to be free like I want to be free. Girl, you are free. You're rich. You have nothing to complain about. Yes, you're a little upset because you're not like OG, whatever your name is. But don't kill people to the point.
Don't kill people just to feel something.
Just to
Who are
feel-
you, Darko?
Yeah, exactly.
Which, listener, Darko is not a murderer. I'm just putting that out there.
He's
now.
not a confirmed murderer. He hides the evidence way too well.
Oh, this is one of those things where it's the inside jokes, and then I'm like, I hope if he ever hears this, he knows it's coming from a place of love and not actual. I hope there's no offense taken. Anyways, just suddenly, hey guys.
Hey, he just sidles up to you. Hey.
Yeah. So the trailer dropped. What were your initial impressions?
Just on, I guess it was a completely superficial, just taking it in shot by shot. I thought it was pretty cool. Like there were some things like I think I had the most or least interest in anything involving the Chris Pratt, the Jurassic World characters. Like like it was cool to see the original three and dinosaurs and all that, but like whenever they'd show like something that that made it like the third part in the trilogy, like, oh yeah, right, I forgot about these guys. I didn't care. Like I was excited to see dinosaurs again. But oh yeah, Jurassic World, right. But yeah, like I thought it was cool. Like there were some interesting things in there. Upon further reflection and like thinking about them, like maybe some of it is a little weird or it doesn't make sense or it's it's questionable. But no, it's cool. The dinosaurs are breeding. So like, I think that was one of my first reactions. Oh, the dinosaurs are breeding. So like, did they still not fix the whole frog DNA thing? Like in all these years, they still didn't fix that. They figured, frogs are fine. Or like, did fiendish Dr. Wu still not did he not know?
I love that's just what we call him now.
He's fiendish Dr. Wu.
He's fiendish Dr. Wu.
Yeah, like did he somehow overlook the whole, or did he not know about the frog DNA allowing a change of sex in the dinosaurs? Like, because that I don't want to call it defective gene, but that mutated gene or mutatable gene is still there. Or is there something oversight else? Yeah, like that was one of your population controls that you were so proud of in the first one. Like, oh, there's no unauthorized breeding. Look at my pencil as I tap it on the clipboard. I am a genius. Like, you obviously overlooked something, and 30 years later, you still haven't figured it out. But,
yeah, that's actually a good point. When I saw that, I just thought the dinosaurs are breeding, and instantly I was like, all right, life found a way. And they used Hammond quoting Malcolm.
Yeah. Well, that's another thing. Did Hammond ever say that? Like, I'm trying to figure out where that dialogue was taken. He did say life finds a way, but not like that in the beginning of Lost Worlds.
Was that
must have been some sort of...
It was at the end. It was at the end when there's doing the montage of the dinosaurs back on the island, the Lost World, while he's doing the interview.
When he's on TV, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and he's like, "It is imperative," like that point. And they probably just used some, I don't know, dramatic effect or whatever. But I was like, "Oh, it's from that." Okay. I didn't know how cool I'd find dinosaurs in the snow. But as soon as I saw it, I was like, oh, that's awesome.
Cool. Snow dino.
Snow dinos. And then that made sense where I'm assuming they're in Russia or somewhere where it's like very, very bird-looking raptor chasing them. But I'm like, hey, that's actually the coolest raptor will ever look with feathers. And
that one where it's running towards the camera, that one?
Yeah. Where it's like, oh, that's what it would look like with feathers, and not just stupid little things in like Jurassic Park 3. Oh, I hate it so much.
Yeah, so I'm wondering if there's like, well, I'm wondering if there's a time jump. Probably not, because the kid, the clone baby, has has aged kind of naturally.
Well,
Because like, or like, has there? What I was getting at is there has there
yeah,
been an evolution already? Like,
I
have the dinosaurs begun to evolve or revert to their natural states beyond what they've been genetically engineered to be?
I think that, like, I'm speculating, but I believe so, and I do think there's a bit of a time jump,
Yeah,
probably just a couple of years,
yeah,
because even that short battle at Big Rock,
yeah.
I think that was supposed to have taken place like, I don't know, 8 months to a year afterwards, because they were speculating about the dinosaurs, like, well, we had heard whispers
Yeah.
about this,
No,
but
but I
like,
think what I'm trying to say is like, is
oh
how long has it
right,
been since Fallen Kingdom? 4 years? 3 years?
about four, yeah.
So
Um,
is Dominion 4 years after Fallen Kingdom, or is there like a bigger time jump?
oh,
I think
okay.
it's just 4 years after,
I think
or
it's four
whatever.
years.
I think
Now,
it's just real
maybe,
time.
yeah, maybe they could be basing it off of I just earlier today finished the audiobook of the original Jurassic Park,
Yeah,
and it was where Alan found the nests, and they were
yeah,
like, all right, they've been breeding since last year, and it seems to be they breed every 6 months,
yeah,
where here's one litter and then here's the next, or
mm,
whatever you want to call it. So maybe it's been stuff like that. Um,
yeah,
I don't know. I'm interested because we're also seeing some new species as
yeah.
well.
Which is another thing. Like, there's somebody pointed out. I don't know if it was Christian or someone on the
It
internet,
was
but they pointed out
Tom.
like, oh, Tom, like, how are there
Yeah.
all these dinosaurs that weren't in the release? Where do they come from?
Well, that's the other thing. We see Doctor Wu looking especially fiendish in the trailer
Yes,
with his
with his
his
long
long
hair,
hair,
his COVID haircut.
his COVID haircut. Where I'm like, oh man, you look like a really COVID hit you hard, fiendish
Yeah.
Doctor Wu. Who I definitely think is dying in this
Oh yeah.
movie. He
It
has to be
completes the
dying.
arc.
Yeah.
Completes the arc. Yeah.
Well, because they've made him like the de facto villain almost.
Yeah.
So
He's an interesting villain. I mean, I don't know if you want me to get into that now, but he's
yeah,
an interesting
yeah.
villain because he believes he's doing good work.
Hmm.
He's not out maliciously.
No,
He
no.
believes that he's a genius and nobody can do the amazing things that he's doing and has done. So
Hmm.
he is a gift to the world in a way. Like,
Yeah.
he is advancing the technology, the science, where nobody else has. So what
Hmm.
he's doing isn't bad.
Yeah. Well, it's we even saw that within in the first Jurassic World, where he was just like, you asked for this stuff. Like
Yeah.
none of these creatures look like or behave like they should because we can't recreate them
Yeah.
exactly as they were. And you said make it scarier. Of
Yeah.
course they're gonna like. So for him, he's just like, no, this is all natural. This is gonna happen if these things that we've created have gone out. But
Yeah.
there's been some supplementary material where like the Spinosaurus was it was that was the best thing about Fallen Kingdom, that terrible movie, like
Yeah.
was the stuff that they had on the side where it's like they actually were releasing in-universe answers for
Hmm.
things like the Spinosaurus. It was the Spino was the first genetically modified, like the really modified
Yeah.
dino they were trying.
Yeah.
Because they're like, no, this does not behave like a
Right.
Spinosaurus ever would. So it was like, yeah, nobody knows about the island.
Yeah.
Let's just test.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if some of that stuff as well is like Wu kept testing, kept
Right.
fiending away.
Yeah. I tell you, if they show any dino human hybrids, it's over. The movie's over.
Yeah,
Like, it's
yeah.
over. No.
I don't think we're gonna get Cretaceous commandos in this.
No.
Which listener, that was the joke. I told Mike, and I guess it's in a way a sneak preview for an upcoming OCR episode. I recorded part of our Unmade series looking at unmade Jurassic Park films, and they're very hard to get detail on. Like there's not a lot of details known, but one of the most famous ones was between Jurassic Park 3 and what eventually became Jurassic World. They were looking at human dinosaur soldier hybrids, which were a thing.
They took a bit of that for Fallen Kingdom in the dinosaur soldier idea.
Yeah. Well, and I thought they got the best possible thing from that in the first Jurassic World, when it was like D'Onofrio coming in being like, we're going to train these as basically war dogs, where I'm like, okay, well, that's how you make this palatable.
That's the most reasonable thing you could have come up with.
Yeah, anything beyond that. When we get,
it's pretty ridiculous to begin with, but it's the most reasonable thing.
You're like, okay, I can get on board with it. I can at least, it makes sense within the universe that you've created. Like, okay, sure, you've got a guy training raptors anyway, so maybe.
Okay,
I'll
allow
in your
it.
Face, I can roll with it. It's not, hey, we're going to point a gun and okay, anyways. So I guess a couple of other things with the trailer. We got, even though it had been confirmed for ages, we got some shots. Ideally, it's going to be, and now they've already pre-announced, like, hey, the OG3 are back in substantial roles. Okay. So we know it's not just Jeff Goldblum in the trailer again.
Yeah.
Which, seeing Goldblum actually get to be Malcolm Beyond just in a courtroom, I was like, oh, I'm so excited.
Well, yeah, I felt like in Fallen Kingdom, he was like, he was barely even Malcolm. He was just like Goldblum reciting lines dramatically.
Yeah. Well,
and that's not just saying, like, not just because he was limited to the courtroom setting, but like, it didn't feel like Malcolm was what I'm trying to say.
There wasn't any of the Malcolm inflection. Yeah. Like, which people would be like Goldblumisms, but I'm like, no, they were different to a degree with Malcolm. There was plenty of Goldblum in Malcolm, but Malcolm was slightly different than, say, David.
David. Whenever I hear David, I always think of the TV boss. David. What about my mother?
Forget my lawyer. Yeah, like when he did that Dominion line, that's where I was already excited seeing the trailer, where I was like, okay, all right, or cautiously optimistic, I'll say. But so far, Jurassic is 3 for 2 in terms of good. But then seeing Malcolm after, and then getting Grant and Sattler back, I was like, my heart's aflutter.
Oh. No, and then naturally this is transitioning to looking at you, Lucasfilm.
Yeah, no, seriously. Well,
like, why?
It's the Triceratops in the room. It's
the Triceratops in the room, exactly.
Let's get it out there. How the hell
how does Lucasfilm overlook that crucial concept of bringing together the original three,
the big three, back in for
at least one scene together.
At least one scene. You got the trailer shot of the three, and then oh my gosh, and then further towards the end of the trailer, not only do you get an additional shot of the three, you get the three and the new characters. So I'm like, wow. Not only did they succeed where Lucasfilm failed on the OG3 shot, they also failed in getting the new cast.
The old and the new together.
Exactly. Yeah. It's just like, okay, this is how you do this. How did you fail? So
like, just when I think I can't get any angrier at the sequels, somehow they find a way. Life finds a way, right? I find more ways to be upset with the sequel trilogy. Like, they're just so bad.
Yep. They were, I think what we're seeing with Jurassic, I've been following some of the like behind the scenes stuff, just because Jurassic is now getting looked at as almost a very pun aside from the studio, because Universal, but it's being looked at very much as a Universal property. Where you've got Camp Cretaceous, which I've heard good things about, but I haven't watched, and they're talking about doing more books and more comics, and like really making a focused effort on having more Jurassic stuff. And even at one point there was a conversation of potentially other films set in the universe, just not the Jurassic Saga, which that part is the part that has me nervous. When I see that in the trailer where it's like the Jurassic age comes to an end, I'm like, did we not learn enough from Rise of Skywalker? Where Rise of Skywalker was screwed to begin with. But then when it's like, all right, it's tying together 9 films.
Yeah.
Like, no, you're heaping so much more onto it. And
like I have to wonder, like,
yeah.
I mean, I can understand like bringing back characters and concepts and even dinosaurs from the previous 5 movies, but like, I don't know. It seems like a marketing thing to say, oh, we're bringing all of it together. Well, what is there to bring together, really?
Yeah.
Like, it's not like somehow Palpatine survived. If they say that, somehow Rexy survived.
Yeah. No, I get why, because it is it's a pure marketing thing, but it's just like, don't do that. You like, the stank of the last one is real.
Oh, so real.
The hurt is real. The box office reception, even though it did well, it wasn't as good as the last one. You have to overcome the last one. You don't want to attach everything from the good to the outstanding first 2, or let me rephrase that: the outstanding first one, the really solid second. Yeah.
I've lost my train of thought. It's just rage about the sequels. It took away everything.
That was like me with Fallen Kingdom for a while. I was like, you've taken everything from me.
Exactly. Yeah.
Whatever horror director made it, it's like, you've taken everything from me. I don't even know who you are.
That's the thing. Like, thinking back, like, for when they're making Fallen Kingdom, like, oh, it's going to be directed by this horror not master, but horror director, and I'm like, okay, cool. Bring some scariness into Jurassic Park. And then that happened. Like, that wasn't scary. It was scary bad, but nothing else. Like,
it was also needlessly mean-spirited.
I don't remember anything about it, so please explain.
I really
don't remember the movie.
To me, I'd say needlessly mean-spirited. Now, I'm on the record of, ever since I've gotten Luna, I have difficulty seeing animals in captivity, but in bad ways, like that movie. So that was like where they're all looking depressed and so sad and upset. I'm like, oh, this tugs at my heart a bit. But at the beginning of the movie, when the volcano was suddenly part of the island, and they just never knew until recently, which is dumb. But then
they just make a point of killing the Brachiosaurus.
Well, no. So that's the part where at first it's like, okay, symbolically, I get what you're going for, and there's a gut punch there already because the Brachio was the first one you saw. But then after the movie comes out,
it felt very Ryan Johnson. Let the past die. Damn it, Ryan, where did you come from?
But then after the movie came out, the director was like, oh yeah, by the way, that Brachiosaurus was the first one you saw specifically.
Just so you know and feel better or feel worse about things.
That's where I'm like, you didn't need to say that.
Exactly.
You hurt this childhood thing, and then you kicked us in the crotch afterwards.
Yeah.
Like, you broke my legs, and then
you stomped on my face.
Just added this unnecessary part where it's like, why do that? People talk about Spielberg's mean streak at points, but I don't recall him doing that. He might have a Rex eat a puppy every once in a while. Yeah. That damn movie, man. So I'm excited about this, which I wasn't sure I was going to be. Like I said, that battle at Battle at Big Rock, short film by Trevorrow did like assuage some worries where I'm like, okay, Trevorrow's back. He seems to be really focused and getting a tone with this. And it's like, this is a preview of things to come. when we got that prologue where it was the Rex showing up at the drive-in, I was like, okay, it's recapturing some of that. This is interesting. It looks a lot more globe-trotting than I anticipated.
Yeah, I didn't even really think about that. Yeah, because the dinosaurs have presumably got everywhere. So
Yeah.
I don't know if they're tracking them down or like what the story is. I don't know. I don't think they really released any plot points, but
No, they've played it close to the chest, which is probably for the best. Because it makes you wonder, and that makes you want to know, and doesn't make you just be like, this is stupid.
Yes, there's definitely seems to be a Jurassic World, and like the movie, and yeah, like it seems like they've built some sort of enclosure. They captured some dinosaurs. They made like a refuge or something. That's where that feathered raptor is. I don't know. It's all very mysterious. But the one thing that I loved is seeing the Dilophosaurus again.
Yes.
I have been waiting since the original to see a Dilophosaurus again. I remember when Lost World came out, and like at that time, I didn't really. My parents never took me to the movies, really. So like, by the time I saw Lost World, it had already been out for I don't know how long, at least weeks. So like, I remember being in swim lessons, and the guys in the locker room, they had seen it, and they were talking about the movie. They're like, oh yeah, the Dilophosaurus is in it, and it gets on the ship, and it eats people, and there's a bunch of them, and like, cool. And then that never happened. Like, what was this guy talking about? Like, he promised me Dilophosauri, like at least 2 Dilophosauri, and I saw none. And then they teased
because the guy doesn't know the difference between a raptor that didn't even get on the ship and the Dilophosaurus.
Yeah. And yeah, they teased us with one in Jurassic World, right?
Yeah.
There was a hologram, and I think there was like a stuffed one or a mannequin or something in Fallen Kingdom. Maybe I'm imagining that. But like, I want to see one again. And the way they do it in the trailer, it's very shocking. It's it's the screech combined with a scream, and it's right there, and it's got the frill, which people complain about because it didn't really have a frill. We have no evidence of that. It's cool, all right. It's cool.
Well, and they explained everything already in Jurassic World, where he's like, "Yeah, we added stuff.
Yeah, make it look cool, make it look scary. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm happy to see it back. I hope there's more than one. I hope there's like, because we've only ever seen a child. I want to see a full size one.
Yeah, because they, I think the book seems to go a lot more paleontology based than the movies did. Although the movies, to a degree, were paleontology based.
Yeah.
But the books were like, in the book you had 2 full-grown Dilophosauri, doing a mating ritual, basically. Thankfully, they don't go into details about the mating, but they do go into grisly details about one killing Nedry.
Yeah, it's very graphic.
Which, yeah, it's awesome though. Man, I hate Lex in that book so much.
Yeah.
Just the worst.
I'm curious. I think they're going to, now that I think about it, I think they're going to branch off on the whole biosyn aspect of the story in Dominion, because I think Dodson's in it, or there's some biosyn.
Interesting.
Yeah. Like, where have you been for 30 years? And well, they did in the last 2. They were talking about selling the DNA to, like, that's what Fiendish Doctor Wu was doing, right? He was working for the other guys or something like that.
No,
or he took his stuff.
He was still working for InGen.
Okay. I think there was something about him selling the secrets or something. Like he took samples on a helicopter or something, right?
Oh, that was at the end of Jurassic World as everything was, as the dinos were invading.
Yeah, so I think he's going to work for Biosyn.
No, I think they were just moving him off island, and he was taking some research.
Fiendish. He's too fiendish for that. No. I reject your rationale.
InGen in this has become fiendish, where I was actually going to ask, like, just because I think we're skirting around it to a degree. After this movie, where would you like this franchise to go?
I have no idea. I mean, I just want to see dinosaurs, and I don't want to be insulted when I see them. So like, but like what? I I don't know what else there is to do.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like we had a park, we had an island, we had a new park, we have them getting out everywhere now. What else is there to do
Yeah.
except for cretaceous commandos? But I don't know. I just want to keep seeing dinosaurs, and I think Universal knows that people just want to see dinosaurs. So just
Yeah.
make a new plot be damned.
I like Jurassic's interesting just because there's so many franchises now, and franchises are the way to go. I was thinking about this the other day where it's like, in a weird way, we live in a time and an age where there's so many more opportunities for movies and television programming and everything because of streaming, and these streaming giants want exclusive rights, but the majority of the stuff that's coming out isn't something that's one and done, or
Right.
a single mini series. It's like, nah, they're looking for that franchise money. That's
Right.
that
Exactly.
sweet shared universe cashola.
Exactly.
And I just don't know if I don't know if Jurassic lends itself to that, but it's
Yeah, like there
not
could be
something I
like
want to go
side mini
away.
stories of like someone researching something, but
Mm-hmm.
like how much of that can you do?
Yeah, I like it's something I've wanted for a while, and I've started re-listening to The Lost World because, well, why not? I just finished Jurassic Park,
Mm.
and I still really want them to do the those two books, but like they were in the book,
Yeah.
as a series, not as a movie, but as like a 8 episode series or something.
Yeah.
Because I think they lend themselves to that. There's political intrigue. The characters are different enough.
Yes.
It's also
Yeah, there's a lot of mystery and intrigue and
graphic death.
graphic
Just
death and yeah, there's
graphic
horror.
death.
There's a lot going on in the books that was just kind of tossed for the simplicity of the movie. Not to say the movie's bad, but
Yeah,
to make it more filmable.
filmable and palatable for, because if you look at even though like some of the stuff that gets you that R rating, most of the time people are thinking like, oh, boobs and sex and all that. It's like there's not that, but it's like while they're alive, the book would be very. What's so funny?
You broke up and you're just like
uh, sorry, yeah, I'll quickly re-summarize that because I don't know if my end caught it. Yeah, no, because in the books there's no sex or like a big amount of swearing. There's swearing, but there's stuff within it with the graphic deaths where I'm like,
yeah,
no, that would get an R rating,
yeah,
and in a weird macabre way, I do want to see it because they do it the way they describe it in the books. It's gross, but it's not like hostile, ridiculous gross.
yeah. It's not what's the word I'm looking for? It's not gratuitous. Like it's the dinosaur. It's animals eating people. Like
Yeah.
It's not like, oh, the raptor went back for more just to spite him, kind of thing, right? Like he didn't cut his Achilles tendon just so he could suffer some more. Like,
it didn't. Yeah. It didn't break. It didn't make it like almost kill a guy to set a trap and then come back and snap his neck or anything.
Yeah, right.
Ugh, Alan.
Alan. That's the first thing I said when I saw him in the trailer. Like, Alan. I just I stopped the video and Alan.
Which it's so funny because a friend of ours in the chat was like, everybody looks so old. Where I'm like, they do look older. I wouldn't
they
say
are
they
old.
look. They are older, but
it's been 30 years.
But I also wouldn't. I didn't look at any of them and be like, oh, you're too geriatric to be here. Like,
yeah,
they look like they're in their 50s or 60s. Like, they're not going to be doing the motorcycle chases with Pratt.
Yeah, exactly.
And none of them did that to begin with because this wasn't that franchise then.
Exactly. Yes.
They were in cars and in San Diego.
Well, they were scientists.
They were scientists and mathematicians.
And, yes. Chaotician.
Yes, Mike.
So, yeah. Just, I mean, people get old.
Yeah.
It happens, right?
No, and Sam Neill looks good with the beard, and I didn't like, even though I knew he was coming back, when I saw him in the trailer, I was just like, oh, that's awesome. Part of it was like, okay, did you need to say his name? Like, was that for everybody else? Like, just in case you forgot?
Hey, I know that guy. Who is he?
He's really? From the first movie.
That's the guy from the first one. I know somebody said that. A lot of somebodies.
I'm just waiting for that pitch meeting Screen Rant series where they're going to be like, we're bringing back these three. They were in the first movie.
They were in the first one. Weren't they? They're familiar. Yeah.
I guess just because it's sometimes fun to speculate, sometimes, just because other times it gets way too tedious and too annoying when movie rumors run wild. But in a weird way, I had a brief worry when I saw the three in the trailer. I was like, oh, are you just going to kill one of these guys quickly? Like, I don't want any of the OG characters to die.
If one of them dies, I will be so upset. Not just like distressed because, oh, I like these characters, but I'm just going to be like legitimately upset that they killed one of them. I don't know how else to describe it.
Like, I can't think of any reason. Now, at the same point, weirdly enough, you're like, well, it's a movie with dinosaurs. Of course people are going to die. Conceivably, a Rex could just eat Malcolm. Yeah. But at the same point, I'd be like, but you don't have to with the OG3. You don't have to.
Like, I don't want Alan to sacrifice himself for someone. Like, no. Yeah. Speaking of Alan, this is getting off topic a little, but I like that he's still a paleontologist in the movie, despite real live dinosaurs, depending on how you want to qualify that, are running around in the world. He's still digging for bones. Like, he's that determined. He's that stubborn about it.
I hate the third movie so much. I can't remember much, but I remember him being like at the beginning with this Q&A.
Beginning, he's doing it. Yeah.
Where he's like, those are movie monsters. Those are not real life. Like, he's still like, these things have tried to kill me multiple times.
Yeah.
I refuse to give them any ground as actual dinosaurs.
Oh, almost being eaten several times does something to a man.
I mean, if everybody's going to die, bring Billy back and kill him.
Hey guys, hey Billy. That's the whole cameo.
I do think we're going to see Rexy die in this one.
Yeah, probably.
Because at this point, they've established, like, no, it's the Rex from the first park. Where it's like, all right, she's getting up there. She's getting up there in age.
Yeah. So.
And she's out in the real world, like, presumably killing people and not just animals.
Yeah. Right.
They're probably going to gun her down. I don't know how I'm going to feel about it, but...
Yeah, I don't know how I'm going to feel about a lot of things in this movie.
Yeah.
Looks cool, but they're not telling us anything. And, well, anything can happen.
As long as a dinosaur doesn't say Alan, or a gun is involved in basically shooting one.
Yeah, I could do without them insulting the audience's intelligence.
Yeah.
That'd be good. Maybe a little bit, but
yeah, I'm still. Oh man, my excitement's kind of waning out.
I'm bringing you down.
As the podcast has gone, I'm just like, oh yeah, I'm starting to see how many ways they can screw this up. But I do. I'm still going to try to be optimistic about it. Out of things I've heard from Trevorrow and Spielberg, they're both very hands-on in Jurassic. like Trevorrow's more or less Filoni to Spielberg's Lucas when it's coming to Jurassic now. And I think part of that was also coming off of Fallen Kingdom, where it's like, okay, that was probably a mistake, and we couldn't fix it till too late in. So I'm curious. I'm trying to keep hope there. And with Trevorrow like really being hands-on with this one, Jurassic World, while not perfect, was a lot of fun. It was still like one. It
was an entertaining movie. Like
exactly. It brought one of the biggest smiles to my face in a movie that I can think of when we got to that fight at the end, where I'm like, this is how you do a dino fight. And then Blue was hopping back and forth.
And then the Undertaker comes in at the end and brings the Indominus down to hell.
Yeah, and then Mosey shows up at the end. I was just like, I don't even care about anything I didn't like. This was awesome.
Yeah, exactly. It's the Undertaker. I don't know if I ever actually saw it or if I just did it in my head, but there was like a JR calling that match kind of thing.
I think you shared it. I tried to find it where they also had when Blue showed up, he came out to the Rocks theme music or something. Oh man.
Yeah, what else was I gonna say now? I forget, but yeah, I mean we'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
can't do anything else. Not like we can change anything, right?
No. I'm still gonna try to be cautious optimism is the way to go with a lot of these movies, but I'm gonna try to focus on that little like that brief glimpse of joy where it's like Malcolm being like, not only have we lost Dominion, where I'm like, yes, Malcolm.
He said the name of the movie. You're in the theater. Hey, he said the name of the
movie. And again, with the pitch meetings, they're going to be like, that's the name of the movie.
Yeah. He said the thing. I wanted to say the thing, whatever it is, like Life Finds a Way or there it is. Say the thing.
Which I haven't said that. I don't think I shared this with you, but when I saw Spider-Man No Way Home, when Defoe was like, I'm something of a scientist myself, a kid in the theater yelled out, he said the thing!
He said the thing! I remember there were only a few of us in the theater that got that, and we were all just loving it. We were in a little group like, he said it! He said the meme!
I just lost it laughing because it's like, this kid just... Sometimes kids suck in movies, and sometimes they make it even funnier.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right.
So any final thoughts on the trailer or the movie or Jurassic in general?
I have always wanted, and by always I mean since Jurassic World came out, I want to know the in-between stuff. I want to know what happened. Like, how did they rebuild the park? I know that there is a quarantine zone or a red zone within, or there was within the island when they rebuilt it into Jurassic World, which is like stuff they couldn't contain, where all the raptors were living and all that. But like, how did they do it? I want to see them like go back. Obviously, people were eaten because there were dinosaurs all over the place. But like, how did they do all that? It couldn't have been a very easy thing to do. So I want to know that. Give me a short film.
There it is.
There it is. Yeah.
I know they talked about with Site B, like a hurricane hitting it and basically wiping it out within some of that supplementary material from around Jurassic Fallen Kingdom.
Yeah.
But I mean, also, like, this is a movie series so far where it hasn't gotten to like the Star Wars level where it's at now, where it's like, well, it's in the book, so read the book, and we honor that. It's still they could easily just be like, whatever, we don't care. That's not true anymore.
I want, like, they could have just put in like a quick, like, you know how they had like the Jimmy Fallon clips in Jurassic World explaining little things.
Yeah.
Like, they could have had like a short like video in the park that we watched for a half a minute or whatever, of like the rebuilding. Like the kids stop and they watch the video or something like that, and that would have told the audience, well, how did we get here from where we left off in '93?
Yeah, and I'd like something like that with Site B. I'd like something like that where it's like, okay, is everything really dead there though?
No, life finds a way.
Exactly.
Well, that's the whole thing with in Lost World though. There was a storm that knocked out InGen's their stuff, their buildings and all that, but the dinosaurs continued to thrive.
Yeah. So I know I think it was the release stuff, because in Fallen Kingdom, Claire, or whatever Bryce Dallas Howard's name is, she's working for like the I almost said eco terrorists.
Yeah,
she's working for the
dinosaur
protesters. Dinosaur PETA, the group which is like, we want to save the dinosaurs by killing an alarming number of them. Yeah. Oh man, nope, not gonna rant about PETA. I hate them so much.
Yeah.
Anyways,
were you saying something?
I had to like collect my rage there.
Yeah.
No, like I am curious about. I think Site B is always like something you could go to, create some interesting story elements, but I also just I don't know if movies are real, like where does the franchise go? You can do stuff that fills in the gaps on some things here and there, but I just don't know where else this goes. Like, they're out now. Then what is it? Like getting them back into a park? And then trying to keep that park under wraps?
Yeah, they're going to put them into a new park, and then there's going to be a new park, and there's going to be a disaster there.
Life will keep finding a way.
Yeah.
Like, all right, next one, just do an asteroid. Just wipe everybody out.
Yeah, just do the end of the world.
Yeah. And the asteroid gets destroyed by Bruce Willis.
Oh, hopefully. He needs a comeback.
Yeah. Yeah.
Every time I see one of his straight video movies or straight to VOD movies, I'm like, Willis, what are you doing? You were John McClane. You were Harry. You blew up an asteroid.
It's insane how much he gets paid, though. Like, I can't remember where I was reading it, but the amount of pay he gets for the little amount of work.
Yeah.
And it's like, he can basically film three or four of these VOD movies in a week and still get paid like $2 or $3 million per appearance for like 20 minutes of screen time. It's like, I know people have called him a lazy actor for a while, and I'm not trying to be like Willis is lazy, but I mean, if you're at a point, if he could be just choosing like, all right, I get to phone it in and make a lot of money doing it. Why not?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But Willis, come on.
I know. I have no idea what's going to happen with Die Hard, because they were toying with a prequel, but then Die Hard was a Fox property, and now that's owned by Disney.
Yeah. Now John McClane is Disney princess. I don't know. Bring back Sam Jackson. That was a great dynamic.
It was. Die Hard 3 was dope.
Yeah.
Which actually, who did Avatar? Is Avatar owned by Disney now?
They are. Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Oh, please just put the kibosh on. Just stop caring.
Well, I think they're a little far gone. They're like 4 movies into it.
Well,
they're gonna make money, so.
Yeah, I know. But I was about to say, like, but are they?
Are they? Well, hopefully not. Hopefully, the second one will just bomb, and they'll bring the rest to VOD or to Disney Plus, and just leave it at that.
I'm legit just curious. Like, was Avatar a case of lightning in a bottle? Because it's like its whole selling point was the 3D, and the 3D was amazing. But then once you take the 3D glasses off and you're just like, this is Pocahontas in space. This is a movie I've seen like 18 different versions of.
Yeah.
What's to this?
How are they going to get Is it 3 more movies or 4 more movies?
I don't know, man.
I think it's
heard
at least 3. 3
yeah.
more movies. Like, how are you gonna do this? Like, I think Cameron is pioneering stuff with like underwater CG but like,
do that and make a good Terminator.
Terminator's underwater. Yeah, like with we're really off topic now, but
Yeah.
Dark Fate. They were like, oh well, Cameron's back, kind of. Like, okay, well maybe it could be a good movie. It was not a good movie.
Well, he's been back for like every subsequent sequel where it's like, all right, how much did they pay Cameron to show for the movie?
Yeah.
Because he's been like a producer.
Yeah.
But one of those producers where it's like in name only, where when I guess to tie it back to Jurassic, Spielberg, he does produce. Like when he produces, he's fairly hands-on to a degree. Now you could argue he should have been more hands-on with 3 and Fallen Kingdom.
Yeah.
But still.
Yeah. Yeah, there's Avatar sucks.
Well, like I think that's the genuine sentiment. But it used to just be the internet, but now I'm like, it seems to be the overwhelming.
Well, yeah, like I have not seen any shred of interest or excitement about any of the Avatar sequels. Like everyone's just like, oh, another one or another 3. Like really. And the fact that we've had to wait since 2009 for a sequel, like nobody cares anymore.
Yeah. I'm just not sure. Like I'll say more people probably want it than people want the Morbius movie, but
yeah. I think people are going to see Avatar 2, like, oh, wasn't the first one amazing? And then it's not going to be in 3D or it's not going to be something, or people have just matured or moved on but not realized it, and they're going to sit in the theater and say, oh, okay. Like, they're not going to be impressed at all.
Yeah, I like, and I don't enjoy crapping all over Cameron like this because Cameron's a terrific filmmaker.
He is. Up until Titanic, he made great movies. I mean, up until and including Titanic, he made great movies.
Yeah, like, and Avatar, like, technically was a very well-made film.
Yes, his movies are always technically brilliant.
The craft, like the filmmaking craft involved, is always A+.
Yeah.
But the actual movie itself,
the movie was hot garbage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I guess this, in a weird way, ties to it. Because in a weird way, I've been thinking about it because Spielberg produces the things, and I guess Trevorrow helps oversee. But before they got back to Dominion, it was like, hey, we might try doing other directors. And in my head, I've always wondered, like, picture a 90s Jim Cameron doing a Jurassic movie.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Like, how amazing would that movie be?
Yeah.
We're not going to get that.
No.
I'm just so disappointed that we're not going to get that.
He could totally do it. Like, if he took, like, the same kind of perspective he did with Aliens and, like, took the franchise to the next level with Jurassic Park.
He could do Cretaceous Commandos, but make it palatable.
Maybe he could pull it off. Yeah.
Where it'd be like, yes, throw in Jurassic Park Presents in front of it. Don't just like white it out and then just call it Cretaceous Commandos.
Yeah. Even if it's literally scribbled out on the poster.
They're like so desperate to not be attached to it. It's like, it's too late. Just scribble it out.
Just scribble it out.
Just cover it in white out. No,
somebody get a Sharpie.
Oh man. Yeah, that could have been
tying
a dope
in
movie.
with what you're saying. We were talking about Cameron, obviously, about how everything's a franchise now. I was watching True Lies last week. I was like, man, I always wanted True Lies 2, but there never was a True Lies 2. Like, that's a movie that works on its own because it leaves you wanting more, and there never was more. But I don't know where I'm going with this. It was an awesome movie.
Well, as soon as you bring up True Lies, I'm always like, it's always going to end with, this movie's awesome, because it was.
It was awesome. Every single element of that movie was absolutely A plus. Absolutely. The comedy, the Arnold, the guns, the explosions, the
the
terror,
Paxton.
the Paxton. Yeah.
Oh man.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So yeah, dinosaurs.
Yeah. It's I'm excited for it. It's the cautious optimism, but it's also I guess Jurassic is also one of those ones that should. You can apply the Malcolm quote where it's like, you never stopped it. You never, you always went for whether or not you could. You didn't stop to think if you should.
Yeah.
They need to do that with
Well,
franchises.
yeah. Well, we should. There's money. We need to make money, so we should. That's their justification. And that's become kind of a common excuse or a common saying among the internet is that, oh, they just want money. And it's true. But I like to think sometimes they want to make a good movie.
Well, I think, and you could look at now. I know some diehards on the internet will object, but I don't care. Like, I think you can look at Marvel for the most part and be like, yeah, but there's good quality there, and that's part of the money. It's not to
it's not just explosions and bang 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 and boom and like people actually get something out of the Marvel movies. They connect with the characters.
Exactly.
They connect with the universe.
Like, of course, there's formulaic stuff to it, but I mean, at the same point, Winter Soldier hit people differently than a bunch of the other Marvel movies did. Civil War, Infinity War, Endgame, like they really clicked with large audiences. Where it's like, I'm not saying they're the most amazing movies ever, but you can't say they're bad films. You can objectively not like it, but when you look at it craft wise, they're outstanding.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of quality there. There's no dinosaur saying Alan.
Maybe they're not universally praised because there are no dinosaurs saying Alan. You ever consider that?
Well, they've got a character called Devil Dinosaur. I don't think it would say Alan, but I mean, it would be the kind of thing you think Marvel might make a joke about, so I'd accept it. That's the only way I'd accept the dinosaur saying Alan. To make fun of it happening in Jurassic Park 3.
That'd be a great deep cut if they did that. Alan. And he's like, ah!
You get Sam Neill back because he's shown up in a Marvel movie.
Yeah. They go to, well, I guess Asgard doesn't exist anymore, but it's a people. It does exist.
And it's somewhere in, where is it now in the Marvel
Norway.
world? There we, well, naturally, that makes sense. Yeah, no, you just, there you go. You got Malcolm. Oh, wait, no, he's dead.
Is he dead?
Actually, I don't know if he's dead.
I don't think he's dead.
He showed up at the end of the movie with the people who would have captured him and sold him into slavery to himself. I don't know. Huh.
Well, there's the rule. If you don't see them die, they're still alive.
Yeah, that's true.
So we just assume that the Grandmaster Funk, or whatever his name was, is still alive.
Yeah, just have him show up in Norway too, and then you just have Devil Dinosaur, and then bam.
Yeah. Alan.
Oh man.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm excited for it. I'm really excited to see Grant. I guess that's the other testament to the strength of the first two movies, not so much the third, although Sam Neill was great in the third one, even though it was crap. Like, I am much more excited for those characters than I am for any of the Jurassic World characters. Mm-hmm. That's also because they didn't develop the Jurassic World crew nearly as well.
Like, there's Claire, that she just screams. There's Chris Pratt, who is just the cool guy, but we don't really know anything about him.
Well, I remember they tried to John Hammond both of them for Fallen Kingdom, where in the Lost World it was like, wow, you went from capitalist to naturalist in 4 years.
Yeah.
And then in Fallen Kingdom, Pratt was like, no, they should all be killed, and Bryce was like, no, we got to save them all, and that was the reversal of their rules in the first one.
Yeah.
But you're like, okay, you guys are putting in good performances, but the characters are still thin. They didn't add I don't know if it's the lack of writing or whatever, but the characters in the OG trilogy, like there was enough personality in the characters that you were like, hey, I'm here. Malcolm's character he's always right. He's annoying, but he's always right.
That's right. Yeah. Well, yeah. Yeah. I forget what I was going to say. Something about Alan. Oh, I hope he goes on a Grant rant about something.
A Grant rant?
A Grant. He just has a rant about something.
Just so we can. I'm down for it.
Just about how science has taken over nature and blah blah blah, and then Malcolm will have a little monologue about something, and then yeah, that's all I hope for.
Honestly, as I'm listening to the books, I'm just like the sections where Malcolm is waxing philosophical while hopped up on morphine would be so much more palatable if it were Goldblum.
Just like Goldblum do it. It's good.
You don't even need him. Then you don't even need the morphine. It would just be like, all right, it's just Jeff Goldbluming. Yeah. Goldblum's gonna Goldblum. Just waxing philosophical.
Just let him go. Just turn the camera on and let him
go. All right, Mike. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. I know you gotta get some stuff done. Last time you were on, you've got a side business, sir. Can you tell people where to check it out?
stereomike.ca. Well, yeah, as simple as that. Oh, Stereo Mike. I sell I sell used vintage, usually vintage electronics like stereos, audio equipment, and new and used vinyl records. I've got some good stuff. I've got stereo receivers and reel-to-reel decks and tuners and all sorts of stuff. So go to stereomike.ca. It's not just stereo stuff. I've got collectibles. Anything that is cool to me might be cool to you, and you might want to buy. stereomike.ca. There it is.
Perfect. There it is.
There it is.
Very, very appropriate line that's applicable to so many things, but especially that advertisement at the end. And dear listener, I will be attaching the link in the description of the episode. So just for your ease of going to check out stereomikes.ca. I've heard nothing but good things about the quality of stuff that Mike sells. He takes good care of the stuff he gets. I know if there's things lacking, you've gone out of your way to get stuff fixed.
Yes, I care about my customers. Like, I treat them the way I would want to be treated. I ship stuff out right away. I don't want, like, when I buy stuff online, I don't want to wait for it to be shipped. I want to buy it and I want it to be shipped to me. So when you buy something from Stereo Mike, I will ship it right away, as soon as possible. That's it.
I can there it is. And listener, I can actually attest to this because a while ago, it was I think it was about a year or two ago at this point, just because our schedules have been so wonky, it's been difficult to even to find time to Skype. You and I were going to record, and you had made a sale, and you were like, "Hey, dude, can we delay by like an hour? I've got to go get something in the mail so we can actually get out to this person today." So Mike really does provide first class customer service. That's not an upsell. He's my boy, and I can tell you all it's true.
It's true.
I just thought of Kurt Angle.
It's Kurt Angle. Woo! That's right.
Good times. All right. Well, dear listener, thank you for listening and thank you for joining Mike and I today on One Cross Radio. Let us know in the comments or drop us a line. What were your thoughts of on the trailer for Jurassic World Dominion? Are you excited? Where do you want to see the franchise go? Drop us a line. Let us know. I'd say something on the website, but I've had difficulty getting that thing running right now. It's kind of on the back burner. So when the website's back, we can look at commenting there. But in the meantime, you can hit us up on Facebook, Instagram, even Twitter. It's one of the few times I actually enjoy Twitter, talking to people about movies. Sometimes on Twitter can be fun.
Sometimes.
Only sometimes. Yeah. All right. All that being said, hope you all have a wonderful day. Take care and God bless, my friends. Peace.